I have never seen a mission like this before. It's beyond words. I'm Father Aaron Jungi. I am the pastor at St. John the 23rd Parish in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I invited Kate and Pawel to come out and really talk about the mystery of God speaking to us through beauty. And we chose a few other topics that were germane to our parish, St. Joseph, because of the connection to St. John the 23rd, and then kind of in this year of Eucharistic revival, capping it off with Theology, the body and the Eucharist. So there was, I would say, just deep delight on the part of people. Numerous people saying, I have never seen a mission like this before. This is such a great idea. I sat in the back the last couple of nights just to watch people, and seeing people who were moved to tears or who were just fixated on the art, that said more than even any of the words of praise that people gave. My priesthood has been deeply formed by the experience of beauty. Even before being a priest, my imagination was shaped by beautiful things. Strong memory of seeing a sculpture of St. Michael the Archangel being sculpted as a little boy, and that stuck with me and became this sense of great spiritual power. But then as I became a priest, really trying to reach the hearts of others, I found that the way that God had touched me through beauty became a helpful avenue of speaking to others who were experiencing the ugliness of the world or the ugliness of sin. And so just was deeply convinced of the power that's there in beauty. There's a power that the Lord had exposed me to first. The evenings flow really pretty wonderfully. I was impressed by how smooth Kate is, in the sense of really an introduction almost wasn't needed. She has a wonderful sense of engaging with the people who are listening, and so opens us really covered in prayer, and then just dives into the talks that really weave together her own personal witness along with good theology, and then a deep spirituality, kind of leading very organically then into a time of adoration and prayer that Paul elevates with his own music. And that time of prayer then led to what I thought were some of the most beautiful moments of hearing an entire room of 120 plus people singing the Tantum Ergo in praise of the Lord to conclude the evening, and then ending with time for just community together and people to delight in kind of how they've been pulled together by being lifted upward. My experience of seeing the paintings in person just it's beyond words. I've actually been trying to put it into words, especially since last night, the piece where our Blessed Mother is presenting the Eucharistic host. I just stood there and was actually moved to tears in a way that I'd seen that painting several times online in looking at Kate's work, but being struck just by seeing it in person, and particularly preparing for homily today and reflecting just on hard days as a priest and seeing Our Lady holding the Eucharistic host, that in a particular way just pierced my heart and opened me to the Lord, caring for me and drawing me deeper into the mystery of my own priesthood. Several of the parishes in our city have been doing beautification projects, and so I think for some people this may have answered questions that they had. For some it had opened their hearts, but just from the simplest, these are beautiful pictures, to my heart was grabbed by this piece of art or that piece of art, and I really don't know why, but I want to spend time with it. It seemed to be universally well received. And I had a mom walking in on the second night say, my 11-year-old son came home and talked for 20 minutes after having been at the first night of the mission. And that there was another young boy who told his mom, I want to go. So they made time to go to the last night. So, out of the mouths of babes, I think there is something in the response of children. The benefit of being in person, it feels a little bit like the difference of if we talk to our loved one on the phone, well, that connection is real, but we still innately long for having them present with us. And so there's something about the medium being right in front of you that draws you in much more deeply. It's the same reason that the church doesn't let us do sacraments over a live stream or anything like that. The presence of God is best communicated face to face. And so there's something about that mysterious power of sacred art that it's more disclosive of God by being directly present to it. Why does investing in beauty matter? I love what Dostoevsky said, what Pope Benedict XVI said, quoting him, that beauty will save the world. That while the transcendentals of the true and the good can be marred, we can be blinded from them, true beauty kind of pierces us to the heart. And so it opens us then to truth and to goodness. And so it's worth investing in for the eternal purpose of opening us to God himself. My hope for my community after this event is that they will continue to pursue God in his beauty, that they will have the understanding that investing in beauty is not superfluous, that it's not a waste, but rather that it is not only even a means of evangelizing, but also a means of falling deeper in love with the Lord. So I hope that they take it into their own prayer life. I know that there was a neighboring parish that brought their OCIA group and said, you might learn a new way to pray. And sure enough, they did through Visio Divina. And I'm hoping that my own people as well will learn to pray that way, to let the Lord love them and to allow them to love the Lord that way also. Yeah, Visio Divina is a parallel to Lectio Divina. So Lectio Divina is divine reading. Visio Divina is praying with art, engaging our visual senses and pondering over different aspects of a piece of sacred art in the same way we might ponder over a singular phrase from sacred scripture or the writings of a saint. And so letting a color, letting a garment, letting a shape in a piece of sacred art stir our heart and us to converse with the Lord about why our heart was stirred, or to even just sit in humble awe before God at beauty and be led by a piece of beautiful sacred art into the presence of the one who is beauty himself. We have partnered with Kate through the generosity of a donor to commission a piece for our 25th anniversary as a parish of St. John the 23rd himself, holding the church building that we worship in. It's always been a tradition in the church's art that I've loved. I love the intercession of the saints, and it's something that I go and make a great point about in my preaching in general. And so to help people have the connection with their patron, that this patronage is not just the sharing of a name, but is a real spiritual fatherhood by which St. John the 23rd intercedes for us in a unique way, that after 25 years as a parish, to say we have a visual reminder of just how close God has given our patron to be with us. And so I hope that in a very real way, generations of people will look and see St. John the 23rd holding the church that they worship in and feel closer to that saint who then leads them closer to God, that when they are praying before that image and maybe bringing their petitions, their prayers, they feel fathered by the Lord's own fatherhood in a deeper way. I just hope that it becomes this great reminder of the generosity of God and how close he comes to his people and how he delights in sharing his friends, the saints, with us to draw us into friendship. Anybody who's on the fence, working with Kate and Pawel is a wonderful experience from start to finish. It's very personable. You are taken care of, your questions are answered, and I think that their work speaks for itself. So if you're on the fence, Visual Grace website provides so many different avenues to sit and spend time, whether it's with Kate's art or Paul's music or even just samples of their presentations, to allow that to sink in. So give yourself the permission to just experience that and then reach out and have a conversation. The capstone moment for me, I mean, there was delight as a priest being able to watch my people be drawn closer to the Lord. But then really, truly last night, the last night of our parish mission, being able to just spend a few moments before the image of Our Lady holding the Eucharistic Lord, that is something that I'm going to keep going back to in my own prayer and letting the Lord speak to me through that experience with him.